Okay, come on, cat. No. Spit it out. Spit it out. Come on. No. People are friends, not food. Come on, spit it out. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 49 of Digimon Ghost Game, the Crimson Harvest Festival. Okay, we'll keep this up. If you've watched any of our episodes, we know we go very in depth into these episodes. Yeah. So if you're worried about spoilers, you may wish to leave now. If you've also watched these episodes, you know Ghost Game doesn't have any.
Yeah.
Once again, there will be kind of sort of one line that might have any implication at all. But you've been warned up front. If you are averse to these, you may wish to leave and come back at a later time. So, for now, let us dive right into episode 49, which begins with...
the same opening narration we've had since episode 2.
Yep, so much plot. Moving on. We've harped on this enough, you know. So we see some random humans.
Yep.
Random girls this time.
In some costumes.
Then we get two that are dressed as witches, one's a maid. And they seem to be chasing some fleeting figure that's kind of floating around. And they're like, what is that? And they see it go down an alley and then into some fairly rundown looking building.
Abandoned looking building, yeah.
And they go inside and it's got, tarps thrown over everything. It's a fairly mundane building, but a little dilapidated and spooky. And pretty quickly they hear a laughing voice.
Yes.
Talking to them from up in the rafters, and it's a red-robed looking witch on a broom, which they don't tell us the name right away, and I think this is her anime debut.
I think so.
So, she's a fairly unknown one that if you haven't looked around, you might not have known this one. But she's been around for a while, just fairly obscure.
Well, she's one of those few Wachelny Digimon.
Wachelny, yep.
Wachelny, thank you.
Yes. And if you have no idea what Wachelny is, a lot of Digimon fans wouldn't either.
We don't blame you.
It's a totally other world, and it would take us a while to get into it.
Yeah, we could do a video on other Digimon worlds and things.
Yes.
But we won't.
So she seems pleased that at least two of the girls are wearing witch costumes and say, well, then I will share my power with you. And on her neck, she has this necklace that has an eyeball looking on it. And a whole bunch of eyeballs come out of it. And, they go flying out and start cramming themselves into the girls' mouths.
Yes.
It's a little disturbing. I mean, good job, Ghost Game. You're the horror season. You did a little disturbing here. But okay. And all in all, their looks don't change a lot because they're already in a witch.
Comparatively, yeah.
In a witch outfit, but a wave goes over them.
They all get blue eyes.
Mm-hmm. They're like, I feel the power. I love being a witch. And they seem all happy about it. And they turn to the third one, and which one's like, well, you don't seem to respect witches.
Yes.
And so you shall crawl on the ground forever.
And she starts a chant, which she'll do many times in this episode. Yes.
And one of the eyeballs goes towards her, but instead of going into her mouth, just kind of poofs near her in a little puffball. And she shrinks down into a rat.
And immediately some of the newly formed black cats chase her.
Yeah, because every one of these witches that transforms gets a black cat familiar. Why? See later in the episode? Maybe we'll learn?
No, we don't. We have no idea.
Yeah, we have no idea. And chases behind some furniture. We don't know what happens to her in the moment. Did we just kill another human in this show? I mean, this show's not beyond killing humans.
No, definitely not.
So,
but anyway, we don't dwell on this.
The witches
said it's time for us to go, and Witchmon paces through the wall, and the rest open up a window and fly out on brooms.
And she tells them, "Go, my witches, make more witches across the city." And now, hence the formula, we're done with the random people. Back to our main group, and they're back decorating the same place as they were.
Black cat too.
Yes. They were back redecorating the same place they were last year.
In fact, the lady even says, thanks for coming and helping again this year.
Yes.
So there is no doubt we have gone a full calendar year in this world.
Oh yeah. Far more than now. At this point. Not far more, but definitely more than.
Yeah, yes. There is no debate anymore.
Yes. And they're all talking about, thanks for helping out. Can you put this here? You did a great job. All these random comments. And we see Gamamon looking at a pumpkin with
jack-o'-lantern with scarecrow combination kind of thing.
I was like, oh look, this is a Pumpmon.
Yep.
And he says the same thing as last year.
He still calls it turkey
or treatment.
I mean, it's been a full year, the same spot. What better way to show character growth than to have them show that he's not the same person, but he is the same person.
Yep. Any of that growth we thought we saw, his rebellious phase, all these things that they've hinted at him growing, has not happened.
Absolutely nothing. Yep.
Has not come to fruition at all.
It's not like Digimon growth was one of our things on the wish list we wanted to see. So.
Oh, trust me, there's nothing, very little on our wish list that this season has given us. But we'll get to that at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Which hopefully isn't that much longer.
Well, that's 5 more episodes or less.
Yeah.
Well, as they're decorating, we see a girl kind of shy away from Angoramon and Gamamon.
Oh, yes.
Hiding in the corridor. And really comes and goes, "It's okay, Shori. They're good.
They're nice holograms.
They're nice holograms." And to her defense, after this year, everybody should be terrified of AI holograms.
Yeah. But, they keep forgetting, as the writers do, as well.
Yes. The Zazumon episode. Nothing of interest there.
Yes.
But yes, now to get on their costumes.
Yep. And it is a cute callback because Gamamon in episode 2 was wrapped up in the toilet paper to be a mummy, so...
Gamamon and Espimon, who's here, are all dressed up as mummies.
They're wrapped up as a mummy. We see Kyo as his elf character back from the Petermon episode.
Jellymon's a princess, and Guramon's a pirate.
And really comes out and scares Kyo. She's probably very well done makeup. She's
extremely well done makeup, yeah.
Yeah, a ghoul, a zombie.
Then we see Shiori starting to make her way back. She's dressed as a wish. She's all alone because she took a little bit longer than everybody else.
And it's so dark. What's going on? And it's someone in a witch costume. So what happens? Witchmon finds her.
Rinse and repeat from before.
Rinse and repeat. And she gets a black cat and says, "Yay, I'm so happy to be a witch." And so Witchmon leaves. We don't see her as Shiori comes to meet the rest of the group. And they're all like, "Wow, you look really good.
That's a really impressive costume. But do you have some colored contacts on?"
Yeah. And she doesn't talk like she cares.
Shiori normally does, yeah.
Yeah, anymore.
She starts talking, and another one. AOE.
AOE. Yeah.
AOE.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
One of our friends we've seen, Rilu's friends we've seen many times, is also dressed as a witch. So she sends her eyeballs out, necklace at her. And so they immediately turn on digital fields and go, "This ain't right."
No.
No, they just watch. Okay, it's Halloween. Maybe they just thought it was a elaborate prank or something.
No. So she turns into a witch.
And then she turns to the other friends. Not the heroes, of course.
Yeah, the other three throwaways, yes.
Probably Mika, who apparently is recovered completely from being hit by the truck.
Yep, she's fine.
Horror season, everybody.
And
then starts to... Says they're going to catch a spawn and they're going to turn you into rats. So now they activate the...
No,
they just sit there and watch that happen too.
And watch them turn into rats. And then they turn to our actual main cast and say, "You're next." And this is where... Angoramon finds, wow, I was about to call him Terriermon. Not funny.
Big Terriermon.
That's a big Terriermon. Angoramon steps in and actually gets in front of them. So we see the witch use what seems almost like a Digimon attack.
Yeah. So they do no spells besides brainwashing witches and turning people into rats.
And he counters with a petite tornado, and that...
Don't ask me what happens if you see someone in a cat costume.
Was that you, Piggy? And yeah, so the rookie is able to counter their attacks. Witchmon is a champion, so she's able to make humans as strong as rookies. Okay.
Regardless, they decided this is too much work, so the witches leave.
I don't have time for you. We need to make more witches.
So to protect the other people, they deactivate the...
No.
They just kind of watch them leave. They don't even send Espimon and Invisible to follow them or anything.
No, they just... get away.
Now we've got the Ruli, who's got a box of mice, or rats, I guess technically. They look more like mice than rats. Mm-hmm. And hands them to Akane, who we've seen I think last time was a full year ago.
Yeah, it's a full year, yeah.
Last time watching, oh, there's cute. Okay, really gets a break here because she's making sure her friends are safe.
Yeah, and she's like, why the sudden interest? Just trust me.
I gotta go, sorry.
Protect these. Yeah. And so they start following the witches around that they can find.
Yep, knowing that they're trying to turn more innocent people into witches. They activate that. No,
we cut over to Ruli's sitting in a back alley kind of behind some cardboard in the shadows, watching as just some guy is being turned...
reverse over here, more witches being turned into witches.
Mm-hmm.
They do nothing.
Yeah.
Then we get a few sides of a guy in, not tuxedo mask, but kind of looks like that kind of outfit.
Yeah.
Get turned into rats, and then one of the shadow cats jumps on and eats the rats. All while Ruli and Gormon watch and do nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Our heroes, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep. Always very proactive. Yep.
And this goes on for a while, them not using digital fields and not saving anybody.
Yep. One of the cats tries to jump onto Espimon, and he goes, "Hey, I'm not a rat," and it just goes invisible and flies out.
And
flies
you have
away.
no organization, just wander around aimlessly for a while. Until suddenly...
They see off in the distance a huge, dark, ominous-looking cloud. They're like, I wonder what that might be.
And they finally get a place to go, and something resembles a plan.
Yep, as Ruli tries talking to one of her friends again, and that fails. She almost turns her into a rat, but Angormon pulls her away and goes, "You know what? You're gonna have to be a witch." So she's being bait again? That never works well in this season. Don't do that.
It only works well about 45% of the time.
Yeah.
But no, they all get on some disguises and start walking along with the witches. Which, given what they've done to this point, is not their worst idea.
Yes. I mean, the witches have seen through customs to change people into witches this entire time, so it's...
You've always been able to tell what witch wasn't turned witch and which wasn't before, so why can't they see them? Despite the fact they're all around them.
Yeah. I don't know. We got to keep the storyline moving.
Because the plot says no. Because we don't want to just turn to an ultimate beat Witchmon and be done with this.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be too efficient.
Mm-hmm. And so they go to the gathering. Seems probably roughly the center of the city. I don't know. It's just in some middle of the road.
Near the cloud.
Because they've turned, like, random drivers into rats and stuff, too.
Yeah.
So... Actually, if you let go of the brake, most cars at least roll. Don't completely... Though they have auto cars now, so...
Is that all they have in Japan?
Yeah, at this point. So all the more, the cars would actually still be going. Well, actually, no. If they're working properly, they should stop for people.
For auto cars.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm thinking way too much about it, I know. And so Witchmon is there, and there's 50, 100. There's a good number of these witches now at this point that are all standing there. And she talks about how witches are the best, we are the true. We should make this world without...
She starts to appear, and Kiyoshi will ask, "Is that a Digimon?"
Yes. What else would it be?
Every time it's been a Digimon!
Yes, it's a Digimon! The one time it wasn't, you didn't care, so...
The 2 times it weren't, he haven't bothered to mention this.
Yes.
But Digimon were still involved in a way.
Yeah.
But yeah, Witchmon is knocking the out.
Wants to create more witches, and everyone else will just be feed for the cats.
Yes.
And, she sounds pretty serious. She
Make a world of just witches. And to do this, he can bring forth their castle.
And they join hands, raise them up, and starts
doing their chant again.
Doing her chant, and out of this cloud starts rising up a castle. This champion has a castle? What does it have a purpose? Is it just really fancy looking? It's dark ominous. It's kind of cool, but
Well, at this point, our heroes jump in action and start to stop this chant from happening. No, they still don't care. They keep playing along, trying to... They're basically content to have this castle come out of the digital world, or Wichelny, yeah. It's not
which is still part of the digital world. It's just a different server of it. But, again, very, very...
We'll try to keep out of the weeds on that one.
Yeah. It can get very confusing there. Until finally, one of the witches that's holding, I believe it's Ruli's hand, goes, "I don't detect any magic from you. There are humans among us." And so they are found out.
And Witchmon flies down and says, "Well, you seem to like witches. Doesn't want to turn these ones, apparently." says, "We'll let you join," because they've been infiltrating this whole point. No problem. This is her. Keep it quiet. Then really says, "No!" Confronts her.
And that's our commercial break.
Then why do you infiltrate if you're just going to fight her immediately?
Yeah.
In her face and fight her.
Yeah.
You have means of doing this, really.
Yeah.
Far more effective than...
Yeah. But I mean, it seems a dire moment, so I mean, this episode's better than many at the halfway point.
Oh, yeah,
so.
absolutely.
So, this is where we trigger our champion Digivolutions for everybody. We get Kaus.
Yep.
Out of the
Which makes some sense here.
Which is not really a champion.
There's no way that's a champion. Holy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Lucimon level champion there. Yes.
Lucimon's rookie.
Well, yes, but ridiculously powerful for the level.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, and Hero's like, don't worry, we'll take on Witchmon. You two distract the witches. Okay.
Okay. Something that resembles a plan. Mm-hmm. So the other two break off into groups and run away.
Yeah. Chesla Jellymon shocks them to stop them from chanting and then
yeah.
Run.
We're also just going to knock them all out like they did with the salamander people. Yeah.
Well, that was using water under them to shock
them.
That's okay. So it was very different.
Oh, okay. Naturally. Hard to get as many in one shot.
Yeah. And we begin a long time of Witchmon being very angry with Kaus and Hero and missing. They do turn on the field here. So they turn on the field after a couple of... Because it is Halloween. She says this is where she is strongest. Magic is very powerful.
Most powerful here, yes.
Today. So she is...
Just literally blowing holes in the sides of the building. So.
Yeah. So they're a little more worried. But after a while of them continuing to chase after our other two...
By chasing, it stops the chance. Apparently the castle's not coming now.
Starts to sink back down. She's like, hurry up and finish with them and get back to chanting.
Yeah. Now at this point, things are kind of all chaotic. You think one of them will pull an ultimate?
Yeah.
Nah, can't about it.
Not quite. Not dangerous and bad enough yet. We got a castle and an entire city taken over. It's not bad enough yet.
People turn. Who knows how many people turn into rats?
Eaten. Yeah. No, it's fine.
Yeah, I don't need to take this seriously yet.
And finally, it seems like, because plot reasons, she seems to have Kaus in her sights. One of the attacks is going right for him. Can't dodge it this time. And we see a giant pumpkin
trick or treat
falling out of the sky. And yeah, I'm not surprised he made a return.
A lot of pumpkins start flying. And he's got pretty good aim. It seemed to entrap the witches. They're just airtight.
Yeah, four fall around and then one on top, or three around, whatever. A nice little quick prison around them. And
we got back to Witchmon, who's blown apart the pumpkin herself. So I would think eventually these other witches would be able to get through.
Yeah.
I know they're not as strong as her, but she annihilated this thing.
Didn't back in the Halloween episode, Battle be able to blow through a pumpkin too? As a champion?
They don't care much about that stage thing in that series.
No.
And Housemon beat Eliminating saw the Crowmon,
yeah. And we see Pumpmon floating.
Yep.
Because he can. I mean, plenty of Digimon kind of fly and float at
Ultimate
higher
level
levels.
Digimon kind of floating doesn't bother me.
Yeah. Because as many times as you see him, he does not look like an Ultimate. He is. He doesn't really look like one.
I mentioned that way back in episode 4. A lot stronger than he looks.
Yes.
Effectively.
An Ultimate showing up back then meant a lot. Here, well...
We're fighting a champion.
So it's still kind of
49 episodes later.
Yeah. We're still fighting.
It's not 49, 45.
Yes.
But regardless, the witch is like, Pumpkinmon says, this Digimon's my friend. You want to mess with him, you gotta go through me. And she goes, okay. And he's gone.
Throws him away. Tosses him away. And
thanks for coming, Pumpkinmon.
I don't really know what happens to him. He's over there now.
But it's okay, because he was able to distract the witches, so the other two can turn to Ultimate. No, they do nothing.
Nope. The same gal that she uses to knock Pumpkinmon away, she turns on Kaus and Hero goes flying off of him.
Falls off of Kaus, yeah. So now, Kaimamon decides to take it seriously.
Yes, finally, in order to try and catch him and stop this, finally we get Kenna Weissmon. And as something that has happened every time, and we've never noted in any of these episodes, when he finishes the transformation, he throws off a bunch of dark purplish looking energy. Now, I assume that's going to have, something to do with Ghoulis and some cool thing. It's Ghost Game. I highly doubt it actually will, but, hope springs eternal.
Yes.
And
let's see, what happens? He shoots again him. He does Dragonia. And he goes through it fairly easily.
Blows right through it. But he doesn't actually hit her.
Yeah.
At the end. She's at least able to dodge away. And he comes around to attack her again. And she puts up her hands and I give up. And of course, being
the goody two shoes they are.
Yeah, especially with Kano, Weissmon, and Hero. They go, what? And stop.
They stop it.
She goes, ha! Now that I fooled you,
And then
we hear ticking.
Yep.
And we look down, and the clock ticks over to midnight. And she just deflates.
Slumps down, deflates, yeah.
It's over.
It's over. Then her complete demeanor changes at this point.
Mm-hmm.
She starts to sound like Tesla Jellymon. Kind of like Valley Girl speaking from this point on.
Yeah.
Why? I'm not 100% sure, but okay.
Yeah. And so this is the horror episode in Halloween, the horror season, and the castle starts to just go away. We see the witches revert back to normal.
We see the black cats barfing up her ass, who turn back into humans and teleport to wherever they were. That's impressive.
Okay, cool.
But the witches don't teleport back. They just kind of stand around going, where are we?
Yeah,
How did we get here?
Yeah, the two friends are like, yeah, why are we here? What's going on?
Aoi and Shiori.
Sure, not quite disposable because they've been around enough, but still are.
Aoi's been around enough, she's not. Probably not. The other one definitely is.
Yeah. And so we're on some rooftop or something with all of them, and Espimon's back.
Yeah, pretty much Mom was saying how she, this was her one night. She wanted
make a world of
witches and be around other witches. And Pumpkin Mom, who's back. So, you're in a human world. You don't have to make them witches to be your friend.
Yep.
So we have literally just repeated our moral 1 year later.
Yep. And he turns to her and goes, and if these are all my friends, remember, if you mess with them, you gotta go through me. And her response?
Whatevs.
Yeah, whatever.
She just still doesn't care.
Yeah.
Just her lack of response to this thread is pretty neat.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah, whatever. There is no worry in her voice of any kind whatsoever. And so the others are like, thank you, Pumpkin Mom. It's good to see you. She's like, hey, over to Gamamon.
Yeah, whispers over to Gamamon.
Hey, aren't you like the Dark Conqueror? Aww. That's all we get.
Yep, that's it. And she won't say anything else. And Gamamon, of course, has no idea what she's talking about.
Yeah. Well, she kind of gets cut off from even saying anything else because this is where we finally release the digital field. And just like last year, these Digimon disappear when the digital field goes away. That was weird in episode 4.
We questioned why in episode 4. We're really questioning it now.
Yeah. This hasn't happened any other time except for Halloween and these 2 episodes. Huh?
Where did they go? Why did they go? Why does nobody care? Really, Basis goes, it's okay. We'll see him again next year. Which again shows really has no interest in changing the status quo whatsoever. She's more than willing to let these Digimon run around for another year.
Yep. And I mean, what happened to the Candlemon and the pencil Digimon? Thank you, future Rordrik. The pencil.
Starts with an E.
Yeah. Ikinumon? Something like that.
Ikimon, something.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, what happened to those guys?
So we get to Early's driving her friend home.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, thanks for sorting out with my parents.
So what did she say?
Probably says he was with them in
some party or something.
Sleepover or something,
They're just at the convention center. Yeah. Whatever.
Because
there's no way she
expected.
Yeah, there's no way she told her. Yeah, she got turned into a witch. And
well, she goes for recycling. Gives everyone got turned into a witch a Digivice. So something like this happens.
A vital bracelet. Yeah.
Well, maybe actual vital bracelet, not Digivice.
Yeah. And so she's still keeping secrets even from her closest friends.
She says she doesn't remember what happened, but it's kind of scary, but fun, exciting.
Yeah.
Who's remember that? That's the episode.
Yeah, I don't think we get a poem.
We do get a poem at one point. We get 2 lines that I think are supposed to be a poem, but aren't even really.
Yeah.
Even by Angoramon's standards, are pretty weak.
Yeah.
And his standards are still higher than mine when it comes to poetry.
Yes. And so it's an episode. It's not the worst, certainly, but
in the bubble, it's not a bad episode at all. Again, there's a lot of nice ideas here that you could have made a nice 2 or 3 episode arc out of.
Oh yeah, if I give up and she gets away and the castle's there and they have to deal with that next episode or whatever.
Or they know it's the time limit is midnight, so both pilots are desperate to get the last things in before the clock changes.
Yeah, you end really with 5 minutes left or whatever.
Yeah. But no, we'll get none of that. It'll just all rush together in one episode and it'll be completely forgotten.
Yep. Yeah, the Dark Conqueror line. That's the only thing that might possibly be worth something in the end.
Because he's been called the Jet Black Champion before by the Oni.
By the Oni, yeah.
Get their name exactly. But... So is it the same person, or are we on different sides of this conflict? Because one person considers him champion, the other person considers him conqueror?
Yeah, that could very well be. And we've heard nobody mention his generals that we see pop up when Gulas shows up. So who are they?
Was Witchmon one of them? Is that why she recognizes him like this and no one else has?
Tune in to the very last episode and maybe we will learn.
Question one or two of these answers.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a fine episode, but it's got all the same problems as everything else of Ghost Game.
Yeah. Nothing's going to come of it, and it's a shame.
The study file tells us nothing, really. It confirms she's a champion.
Yes.
They don't even talk about how she's from, the other Witchelny world or anything. That could actually be, interesting. I don't think Witchelny's ever actually been stated in the anime, so...
No, and the closest thing is back in Adventure when, Lizardmon says he's from
far away land or whatever exactly he says, yeah. It's not from around here. But, alright, so we move on to episode 50, Payback. And it's a lot of, well, what if someone was really kind to you? And we see this really cute-looking little Digimon called Buchimon.
Yep.
And it's an armored Digivolve.
It has shown up briefly in the anime before.
Mm-hmm. And it's a bunny, so it comes from Wormmon. Right. And, but what if they were so kind and so heartfelt in what they did to you? How could you pay it back? Could you pay it back twice, 3 times? What if you couldn't? What would you be willing to give up? And we see this kind of, not quite silhouette, but a darkened look. Yeah. And it looks like Maycrackmon.
My guess.
Which would be interesting because we already saw Meikumon this season.
Saw Meikumon this season, yeah.
Very briefly. And they disappeared.
They just disappeared for no particular reason.
So I doubt this is the same one.
Yeah, from this episode. There's a lot to talk. That was an interesting episode.
Yeah. I mean, that would be really cool is they vanished, and while they were gone, they were so miserable. That's how we came up with this vicious mode. I think that's what this is. No, that would tie too much to a previous episode.
I would be shocked if they managed to do that.
Yeah, no. And it wouldn't even be that hard.
Oh, it wouldn't be hard to tie this stuff together.
No,
some of the stuff together.
It wouldn't, but they just don't.
They don't care. No.
Yeah, and like this very last screenshot looks like Maycrackmon's putting something, I guess, in the guy's mouth that we see in much of our throwaway human for this episode.
Yes.
And so, I mean, okay, a couple of interesting Digimon, but again, it doesn't seem like anything that will...
Anything that's been connected or will connect.
Like I said, there's that one way that we just said that it could connect, but I highly doubt it will.
And if it does, what's that have to do with the overall plot of Gulas Ganmon?
No, but it makes me at least happier that they can even connect that.
Yeah, like the Pokemon callback. Woo, I'm excited by this. This is not hard. This is low standards, really.
Yeah, this is my standards at the start of the season. This is where you are. But, that's Ghost Game for you. If you've watched our episodes before, these are our opinions. So I think we've ranted for long enough today. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more Digimon content from us. And as always, everyone...
Tune in next week for more rants.
Yes. And as always, everyone, remember to be awesome. Until the next one, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.